Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is me Fatima Khan, Business Wali. I am a student of Rehan AI Teachers Training Institute Batch 22. So today we are going to have an insightful conversation with ChatGPT about the topic is how to make better decision and avoid regret. So let's start. Hello ChatGPT.
Hey, great to have you here. What's on your mind today?
Today I will learn about the topic how to make better decision and avoid regret.
That's a really great topic. It touches on both decision-making skills and how to reflect on your choices. Do you have any specific aspect you want to focus on first, like gut feeling, pros, cons, or something
Yeah,
else?
my first question is this: what does it mean to make a good decision?
Ooh, great starting point. So, making a good decision usually means choosing an option that aligns with your values, goals, and the info you have available at the time. It's not always about being perfect, but making a balanced, thoughtful choice so you can feel confident later and avoid that what if regret.
Why do people often regret their decision?
Yeah, that's super common. I think a lot of times it's because we don't have all the info at the start, or we second guess ourselves later when we see other possibilities. Sometimes it's just a fear of failure, and sometimes we just don't trust that we made the best call in that moment.
What factors influence our decision making process?
That's a great question. So, influence is more about the factors that shape what we're thinking, like emotions, social pressures, or past experiences. Decision making is the actual process, like weighing your options, using logic, and then choosing. Basically, influence is the why behind it, and decision making is the how.
How important in decision making in daily life?
It's actually really huge. I mean, every day we're making tons of decisions, some small, like what to eat, and some big, like choosing a career path. So, being able to make good, intentional decisions really shapes where your life is going.
How can we develop a clear decision making mindset?
Ooh, I love that. One big step is slowing down and giving yourself time to reflect before choosing. Also, practicing clarity on your values, knowing what really matters to you, helps a ton. And you can work on building a habit of weighing pros and cons or even journaling your thoughts to get a clearer picture.
What role does overthinking play in bad decision?
Absolutely. When things get really stressful or the stakes feel high, it's easy to get clouded by fear or pressure. So, taking a deep breath, checking in with yourself, or even just stepping back for a moment can help you see things more clearly and make a choice you won't regret.
How can emotions affect our decision?
Yeah, emotions can be really powerful. They can kind of act like a filter. So, if we're super stressed, we might jump to a quick emotional choice, even if it's not the best one. On the flip side, positive emotions can give us confidence, but either way, it's about staying aware and not letting feelings completely run the show.
Why is it important to think long term before deciding?
Yeah, thinking long term is key because it helps you avoid short sighted choices that feel good now but might cause issues later. When you focus on the bigger picture, like your long term goals or future happiness, you're more likely to make choices that really serve you down the line.
What causes regret after making decision?
Yeah, exactly. Often regret kicks in when we realize we didn't look far enough ahead or we ignored our deeper needs. So when we pause, reflect, and consider the potential outcomes, we often avoid those I wish I had moments later on.
How can someone reduce the chances of regret?
Yeah, for sure. A big help is being intentional. Like, give yourself time to weigh options, check in with trusted people, and ask yourself what future you would thank you for. Plus, just practicing self compassion, knowing you're doing your best, can help you bounce back if you do have any doubts.
Is it possible to completely avoid regret?
I mean, I think for most of us, regret is just part of the human experience. It's hard to get rid of entirely. But what we can do is minimize it by being more mindful, learning from each choice, and being kinder to ourselves. That way, even if we have a few regrets, we grow from them.
How can we learn from past regret?
Yeah, that's a big one. So it really helps to reflect on what went into that decision, like what you were feeling, what info you had, and what values were at play. Then you ask yourself, what would I do differently next time? And importantly, treat yourself with some compassion. Everyone slips up sometimes.
What steps help in making better decision?
Yeah, definitely. When you really reflect on those past moments, you start spotting patterns. You learn what triggered impulsive choices or what made a decision feel right later. So over time, that self awareness really helps you make more confident, aligned choices in the future.
How can pros and cons analysis help?
Oh, yeah, it's a classic tool. Basically, you list out all the potential positives and negatives for each option, and once you see them side by side, it's easier to weigh which factors matter most. Plus, it kind of forces you to slow down and be more objective about the trade offs.
Why is taking time important before deciding?
Yeah, it's really about giving yourself space to process everything. When you rush, you often miss nuances or get caught up in the moment. But when you slow down, you can consider all angles, reduce anxiety, and make a more thoughtful, confident choice.
How can we improve decision making skills daily?
Oh, great question. I think one big thing is practicing regularly. Like you can make small, low stakes decisions with intention and see how it goes. Also, reading about decision making frameworks or even talking to a mentor can help you refine your approach over time.
How does fear affect decision making?
Yeah, fear can be a big roadblock. Sometimes it makes us avoid decisions altogether, or it pushes us to take the safest route, even if it's not what we really want. So, staying mindful of that fear, naming it, and then still grounding yourself in your values can help you push past it.
How can someone handle pressure while deciding?
Yeah, that's a tough one. A big help is taking a pause, even just a few deep breaths to ground yourself. You can also remind yourself that it's okay not to have a perfect answer instantly, and if you can, get a bit of space. Sometimes just stepping away helps you come back with a clearer mind.
Why do people rush into decision?
Yeah, I think a lot of times it's because of external pressure, like a deadline or worrying about what others will think. Sometimes people just want that closure, so they choose fast over cautious. But yeah, that rush often comes at a cost if we don't slow down.
How can we stay calm under pressure?
Yeah, staying calm really comes down to breathing and perspective. When you feel that pressure, take a slow, deep breath, remind yourself you have time, and focus on what's actually in your control. Also, having a little mantra or a mental anchor can help you keep your cool in the moment.
How does experience improve decision making?
Oh, definitely. Experience is like a shortcut, right? The more decisions you make and the outcomes you see, the better you get at spotting risks, recognizing patterns, and trusting yourself. So every decision, even the tough ones, kind of builds that muscle for next time.
Can mistake improve future decision?
Absolutely. Mistakes are really powerful teachers. When something goes wrong, you usually figure out what you missed, what you could have done differently, and you carry that insight forward. So over time, you actually become more discerning and confident in your choices.
How important is learning from others' experience?
Oh, it's really valuable. You don't have to go through every tough situation yourself. You can gain a ton of insight by hearing how others handled similar choices. It broadens your perspective and helps you avoid pitfalls you might not have seen coming.
How do successful people make decision differently?
Yeah, that's a great point. Successful people tend to be really intentional. They often define their goals clearly first, they weigh risks, and they don't rush. Plus, they tend to reflect on past decisions, so each new one is like a step forward, not just a gamble.
What is the role of intuition in decision making?
Intuition is really interesting. It's like a gut feeling that comes from all those past experiences and subtle cues you pick up on. So when it's paired with reason and reflection, it can be super powerful. But it's good to balance it with a little logic too.
My next question is this: how can we know if a decision is right or wrong?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think it's less about a perfect right or wrong and more about alignment. Like, does it fit your values, your goals, and what you know so far? And then once you make it, you check in. If it moves you closer to the life you want, that's a good sign you're on the right track.
How can we know? My last question is this: why is clarity important before making decision?
Yeah, clarity is crucial because it keeps you from acting on confusion or vague hopes. When you're clear on what you want, why you're deciding, and what the outcomes could be, you make more intentional choices and you feel more confident in them too.
Okay, thank you, ChatGPT, for a grateful conversation.
Of course, I'm really glad we talked. If you ever want to dive into more topics or just chat, I'm here.
Okay. So this is for today's session. I hope you learn many things. Thank you so much everyone for listening to me. Allah Hafiz.